So a couple of weeks ago we of course did the Season 2 overview for Buffy, and now here we are with the highlight reel, I guess you could call it, of some of the better episodes in my opinion. This is of course my opinion. And I totally forgot last time to even touch on the idea of the introduction of Ethan Rayne, Giles's old friend. And we got a wonderful two-parter, I guess you could almost say, but not in the proper sense. We had Halloween, the introduction, which gave us, of course, the notion that the series has kept to, that Halloween is the time when, in fact, the creatures of the night don't do all that. That's their night off. It's the one night they get where the humans just pretend. Let them do that. I like that idea, kind of saying, they find it too kind of cheesy. But it gave us this introduction to Ethan Rayne, Dark Sorcerer, which of course was followed up with the Dark Age, where Aegon obviously rears its ugly head again, which is a demon they summoned when they were younger, which then possesses Jenny, which causes a bit of a rift for the relationship with Giles. But those aren't part of the highlight reel episodes, even though Halloween was kind of great, and like I say, there was plenty of callbacks down the line, especially with Xander's military training. Of sorts, it did carry on for years after, but I don't consider it in the highlights in the same way. I just forgot it last time because I'm a bad person. But the real highlights to me, like I say, are the return of Angelus style things. We of course, had the whole consummation of the relationship on the run from the judge, but the big highlights in this arc, especially like I say in that second half when Angelus had actually turned, was Passion. It's such a potent episode. It's it's got the narration by Angel throughout and things like that, talking about the idea of passion, what it is, how it drives us. We see ramping up of Angel stalking of Buffy and her friends and tormenting them. And while Jenny thinks she finally reached that point where she's got the cure, she's got it ready to go, she could restore Angel's soul, get back in good graces because of her own indiscretion that's been revealed, the fact that she is part of the tribe that cursed Angel years ago. She gets killed off by Angel, or by Angelus really. I do like to use the terms to delineate. It's definitely Angelus. He just dispatches her after kind of making her fear for her life, but then he does something that really earns the reputation. We've heard so much of how evil Angelus is. He's the most sinister person in the world. He'll kill anyone with a song in his heart, and just enjoy it. But what he does to Giles really just reinforces that. He lays her out on the bed with a trail of roses going up, because he's been invited into Giles's before, of course. And Giles thinks, oh, hello, I'm going up, gonna go and see her, and the music's playing, and yeah, he discovers her body just lifeless, just on his bed. And he's broken by it. He's ready to go whole hog and just rampage. We see the call that's put into Buffy and Willow, and they are so heartbroken by it. It's such a powerful moment, and considering again, this is like the first full season they've had, and they're pulling out the big guns like this already. It's what made me fall in love with it. Episodes like this, where they were just like, we'll do it, we can do it, go for it. It's such a powerful moment. Even talking about it now, I'm kind of feeling it still. I've actually got Remembering Jenny, the piece of music that's got like Tony Head's kind of vocalizations over it, and it's really when he comes in, the vocalizations, that it still gets me now, because of that attachment. The actor who played the character who is grieving, that music relates to, is on this track, and it's such a beautiful piece as well. Just the pacing of it's right, the directions that it goes in. Kind of get a bit music nerd for a second. Like you expect it to go one way, and it slightly changes to more of like maybe a minor seventh or something like that. There's augmented kind of bits in there. It's very technically kind of not impressive, but it's well put together and it really sells the point to me. And the whole thing, you know, the narration, the moment itself, you know, that really sells it. That piece of music, the whole thing, just is perfect for me, and this is why it's one of my definite highlights. But no overview of season 2 of Buffy would be, I think, complete, and no sort of highlight reel would be complete without the two-parter that ended this year. Because not only did it give us the reimagined origins of Buffy, we saw not Mr. Sutherland but Richard Rale sort of playing Merrick instead, being watched by Whistler and Angel. And, you know, it was his wake-up call. It was his moment of, like, you know, you've been slumming it around because you feel awful about what you've done. And we find out, you know, that that's been going on at least 20 years. There's been kind of slumming around and stuff and not really living. If you can call a vampire living. Unliving, maybe. But he sees her and he gets his purpose. It's expanded on in season 3, so I'm not going to get into like all the ins and outs of the flowery language that he uses later to describe it. But he sees this girl being called and he wants to help her. And whilst all this awfulness is going on with the Cathler, you know, trying to bring the end of the world, we have the turning of Spike. We have, all of a sudden, he's like, no, hold on. I like this world. It's got Happy Meals and Manchester United and dog racing. I love that. I love that whole speech. I think it's a great speech. I think it just sells Spike's character so well. You know, they talk big, but without the world, without humans to survive on, what are they going to do? A starved vampire is not a pretty sight. So it gave us that, you know, the moment that we were like, Spike could definitely have some more to him here. There is definitely something that could be picked up, and I'm really glad it was. You know, it's just a shame it took another couple of years before it really took root. But of course, you know, obviously, yeah, we have the framing of Buffy for the murder of Kendra, you know, and all that. The whole sort of getting the secret out of Giles, the duplicity of Xander. This was one of the moments where I still consider that next season, the Zeppo, is when Xander kind of really becomes a man in a big way. But this is kind of the start of him becoming definitely more adult. Whilst Willow's trying to restore Angel's soul from hospital bed, might I add, he's going to go and, like, you know, sort of pass on the message to Buffy, and, you know, it's meant to be pass on the message that we're trying and just hold him off. But he doesn't tell her that. He says that, you know, they're all going, no, kill her, you know, or kill him, sorry, take him out, go get him, kind of thing. And it does come back in season 7 very wonderfully. I'm really glad that they did actually resolve that. It took a long time, but yeah, it really showed a darker side to Xander's character, that he will do anything to, I don't know, stop Buffy seeing someone else. In a way, you know, it's his motivations are not pure, and what he says is just awful. And of course, you know, we end with, like I said in the previous video, Close Your Eyes, another great piece of music. This was definitely a good year for Christoph Beck, and Bewitched, Bothered and Bewildered. I think I've got that right. You know, the music for there, like, you know, I'm Twice the Fool, I think it's called. You know, is such a great piece. So light-hearted. He's got such a great idea of scoring things. But yeah, you know, Close Your Eyes, the Buffy and Angel love theme, just sells the last moment. And as I say, we leave this season with Buffy a very broken woman. And she is a woman at this point. Her experiences and everything. She's an adult. But still with that childlike mindset of, I can't deal with this, so I need to run away. But it's so heavy, such a great year, and, you know, it's not even counting like the whole thing with Oz and the werewolf stuff. That was great too. You know, it was a great year, like I said in the previous one. There's so much to love about this. It set up new things, it reinforced old things, it had some great moments like we've discussed, and it really brought some darkness, which I think just helped sell it to a lot of people. You know, it could have just been very silly like the film, very light-hearted, very fun. but it chose to go in a different direction. It chose to embrace the darkness too. And yeah, the next season it really does that, but we'll get to that in due time. So thank you very much for watching my highlight reel. Please do let me know in the comments what your highlight reel would be, maybe like top 3 episodes or whatever you want to do. But until next time, as always, thanks for watching and take care.